Hi guys, so if you know me, you know that I love um, getting information about reptiles. So today we'll talk about something. I already made a video how to do research, and today we'll talk about part 2 of research. So we won't see any snakes today, so if you want to see snakes, you can check that video out once this one is finished. And if you want to have information, a little bit more information, let's stay tuned for this video. Let's go! So what do I want to talk about is this thing here. I'm talking here about books. So why books? Because a lot of people will say books are outdated. There are a lot of stuff. Some books here are written that it's not a reptile related book, but for example this one here, which is about the unknown universe of fish in colors, and it is a book, pretty old book, so I have to be really careful with it. So as you can see, maybe I don't know where we can see this on this one, but this book is from 1976. So this is a pretty old book, you know, and this is a book in Spanish normally from 1975. But for example, this is a very old book, but if you read it, which I will do at some point because I think it's really interesting, you know, it stays information that you can keep, for example, you know. And so reptile related books now, there are a whole lot. I'm on this one, so I picked this one because I just finished the more complete carpets. We'll make a little tour of my books here, reptile related books. So the first one here I want to show you is this, so the books of the Barker, so the pythons of Asia and Malay Archipelago. So this Python of the World Volume 3. Don't know if I will get the other ones, I don't know. So this is pretty much the book. If you want to see, it's really interesting, you know, more like, as you can see, natural history of the books, not a type of you know, how to care for a book, you know, more natural history. I think natural history is really important to know when you have snakes or lizard or any other reptiles and animals that are wild animals, what we can see as wild animals, but you know, so you know a little bit more from where they're from, how do they live there, from what they know, from what the people, from what the author know. And yeah, so another one, that the one that I just finished reading, I'll put this one here. So yeah, so the one that just finished like 2 days ago when recording is this one here. So the more carpet python from Nick Mutton and Justin Jalander. This is a very big book, you know, 600 pages or something, and there is a whole lot of history about it. So about natural history of the snakes, disease, morphs, hybrids, whole lot of stuff, you know, that you can see. For example, one that I was shocked about when it comes to hybrids is bolins to diamond here. So bolins to a diamond, for example, or here a black-headed python to a carpet, for example. But yeah, so this book, for example, if you want the best book on the market about carpet python, this is the one. And I think everyone in the carpet python world knows this book is the best book you can find around because of how complete it is from the name, and a whole bunch you can learn from it, you know. So yeah, but this is, for example, as the other one that is a bit like the same but for another species. So here you have here, for example, Python Regius, you know, from Stefan Bockhammer, Atlas of Colomorphs, Keeping and Breeding. It's pretty much the same type of book, so with a little bit of natural history, a little bit less of natural history, a bit of diseases, how to care for, etc. But of course, it's more of a picture book with you know, a whole lot of morphs, combos, etc. about snakes. So it's a BB ball, for example, here. Or let's take another one, butter morphs here about the black pastel or cinnamon butter, about all that stuff. What I have here also, it's a French book. It's about here, so people that look my videos and are from France or Belgium, this one here is maybe that, so but I'll try to save it. Corn snakes. So corn snakes, panterophis Guttatus, from Stéphane Rossel. Where is? So yeah, from Stéphane Rossel, Sébastien Grand, Pierre Moret, and François Vaillant. Stephen Russell is the guy from Reptiles. If you saw Dave Kaufman's video about Reptiles, the guy, the man. I'm pretty sure you know who he is actually when it comes to corn snakes. The first guy with scaleless. So same here, how to care for, genetics, all the pretty much important part of keeping corn snakes and stuff, Same for bull python, here for carpet python. And then let's go back to natural history book. Let's go. So, oh yeah, and before I forget, before we go to natural history, and wild snakes and stuff, maybe I can show you this one. This book here is pretty interesting. It's so condensed and so stuff. I think it's a book I have to read again, because I think I forgot maybe 75 to 80% of what was in there. But it's reptile medicine and surgery and clinical practice from Australians, vets and scientists, with a whole lot about diseases. Here it's where I have my pretty much basic care from when it comes to decorating and having the temperatures and understanding the preferred temperature from reptiles, how to use with the UV, the zone range of UV, the Ferguson zone, the from where, what, and how to use a heat mat or heat pad, a whole lot of stuff, that is really interesting about quarantine, how to quarantine your snake. Here, so you have nursing, a whole lot about X-rays, about how is it in this, how reptiles are inside of what you see actually, what is inside, all the disease, or how taxonomy, anatomy, sorry, and all that shit. This is a very big book, as you can see. My vet recommended it for me because I asked her for a book about more like medicine, surgery, diseases, and all that stuff. So when I understand a little bit more what she says, and she doesn't have always to have to help a little bit, because I can see, for example, and I say, oh, I saw in the book that you're not a vet, I'm not a vet, it's just, no, you're not a vet, it's not because in this book they say, oh, this and this and this, it's this, okay? No, it's not, okay? It's not, for example, it's not, this, no, okay, right? It's not neoplasia, it's not, but you can say, my snake has this symptom, this symptom, this symptom, this symptoms, and in the book they say, I found 3, 4, 5 diseases that are a possibility, and that can help. So don't do this until you have a little bit of a science background, like I have, for example. I don't have a vet background, but I have a little bit of a science background, biology background, and I understand really well this kind of stuff. But you can do it, you can read it to understand a little bit better. So this is also a book I would recommend to have in your collection if you love your reptiles, and so you can see a little bit more inside of your reptile. So people that love to see the wild types of snakes and stuff know this kind of book, this chimera book, serpent tail. So this series of book, actually, because this is a series of book. this is a whole collection. Actually, there's a whole collection of a whole world, and this is just a small patch of the snake of the books, because there is 60, at least 66 books, you know, in this collection, at least, from what I know. And yeah, so these are from the books that I was searching for a lot. So the snakes of Java, the snakes of the Moluccas, Sulawesi, and the lesser islands of Indonesia. You know, these are books that I was searching for a long time now, for almost 2 years. I found them, so yeah. Maybe I'll take the one from Laos, maybe one from Vietnam, and all the Asian snakes, Australian snakes, maybe, if I can find it. So these books are really interesting, you know, and I think, like, these are, like, as you can see, there's a whole lot of snakes in there. But when I say a lot of snakes, there's a lot of snakes. Almost one snake per page, or maybe not one snake per page, but you have what I mean. There's a lot of snakes, you know, and key identification, and the checklist of the snake of Java, and you can see all, for example, here of Java, and you have all the snakes that you will find in there. You will have the colubrids, you have from the family, subfamily, you know, all the checklist of whatever snakes of Java. You have family this, family that, family this, family that, subfamily, family, and all identification keys, how to identify the snakes, etc. This is a really, I think, interesting book. And if you have, like me here, my interest is more in Asian snakes, as you can see, and Southeast Asian snakes, even to be more precise, more accurate. It's really, like, super cool to have these. And maybe if you're, for example, more in Africa or in America, South America, and there are books about it, take them, you know, read them, because you will learn a whole lot about it. But a real whole lot, because these are books from the wild. These are not from, like, people in captivity that say you should do this, you should do that. But these are books. This is what we have found. This is what we got. These are the species you will find there, and you know, and you can maybe learn a lot of species that you don't know from there. And this is pretty much super cool books, I think, to have. And the last one that I think really important to have, and this is not this book that you should have, but I think this is the kind of book you should have on top of it, is okay, so on the way of reptiles and amphibians. This is a book for all the species of reptiles and amphibians I personally can find here in Europe, or maybe not in Europe, but, you know, France and Belgium, and, you know, this is where we can find it. So yeah, and I think every herpetoculturist or every keeper, every people that love reptile, I think they should have it. I should have one of this kind from the snakes or the reptiles and amphibians or whatever, about their the range where they live. If you live in Minnesota, or you live in North America, let's say North America, the US, maybe it's really important, I think, to have a book about North American species. If you're in Canada, about Canadian species, if you're that. I think this is really important, because when you encounter a snake in the wild, or let's say, I don't know, I'll pick a page. So a page about, I don't know, here, the Aleptis europei. This is a gecko. This is another gecko from Europe. So, and you know, you can see where you can find it. Maybe I'll zoom in it. I'll zoom in there. So, you know, where you can find it, the size, where you can find it, what kind of environment they live in, how do they look like, where and how to observe them. You know, do they live together? You know, a whole bunch of this kind of stuff. You know, and I can, for example, take here, and I have, for example, there. So Rhenicus scleraris, I don't know what's the name in in English, but yeah. And you know, you can have like, okay, it lives that long, it's that size, it's, you know, with that place, etc., etc. And this is really important, I think, because we all want to know other parts of the world's snakes, but we don't know our snakes. Even here in Europe, it's amazingly how people knows about. And even me, I never read that book, you know. This book is like here for almost 10 years and never read it, but I have to. And I think because I think it's really important to know your local species before knowing any exotic species. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share it. Don't forget to support USR. Don't forget to join Regius House Pets group. Don't forget the Responsible Reptile Keeper Association, I think it is. And yeah, I hope to see you on the next one. Let's go.